She's like, can you give me some discount? It's an indie, and my mom is not, giving me money because my pocket money is over. I just sent her the cake for free.
Welcome to Tales of Tales with Manisha. Today, we are talking to somebody about something which I am horrible at, which is baking. I can't even bake a cake for humans, leave alone dogs. So, today we are talking to Gargi from Puplords, and we'll hear from her how did she start, what scared her, what worked, and how did she begin the journey of Puplords. Hi, Gargi.
Hi, Manisha. Thank you for having me over. It's been almost 8 years since when I've started Puplords. So the journey has been quite interesting. Like I was working in Paris in luxury sector, and I used to see so many bakeries around. I used to be like, "Wow, this looks so cute. What if we could make a dog version of it?" And that idea just stayed somewhere back of my head somewhere, and just that door was shut. Then I came back to India, and I was in middle of jobs, and we got home a dog, Pacho. And after that, we kind of started baking stuff for him in the house because I have been baking since I was a child. I have grown up with dogs. So most of the recipes you see in the book are actually my mom's. And I've just kind of tweaked it a little bit here and there, but the basic is my mom. So with Pacho's allergies, he was allergic to almost everything that we fed him. So we had to do a whole allergy test. Based on that, I started curating recipes, biscuits and treats and whatever. We started doing that. It was only for him. Then slowly his friends were like, let me try with his friends also. After that, his friends, they started wanted to place order. I said, no, I don't do this professionally. And that's when this idea clicked, like, since I'm in the middle of job, why don't I just try this? Let's see how it goes. So that's how Puplords was conceptualized, and it started basis on that.
So, what's the story behind the name?
So, okay, this is very interesting. Now, before Puplords, we had obviously Pacho. Now, Pacho's name was inspired from Pacho Herrera, who was a drug lord in Mexico or Colombia, either or. So, I was like, I can't keep drug lord Pacho. I'll keep it Puplords Pacho.
Okay.
And that's how this name kind of clicked, and I continued the same name with my brand as well.
What was the reaction of people around you when you first said, this is what I professionally want to do? I've tried everything now.
Honestly, I didn't share it with a lot of people. I wasn't sure and confident myself because at that time, pet industry was not what it is today. There was literally nothing for dogs except for Heads Up for Tails, who was also picking up. There was nothing. So baking for dogs was something like an alien concept. So yeah, I didn't tell a lot of people, but a few of them, when they got to know what I'm doing, they started laughing at me behind my back. And yeah, I'm pretty thick-skinned like that. I didn't care. I just did what I did. And today, you see, the market has exploded.
Yes.
There are thousands of bakeries now in Bombay itself, pet bakeries in Bombay. So yeah, that's what the whole thing was. Like people were not really confident about it, but yeah, I think I proved them wrong.
I think that's a similar manner in every pet business started initially, say
Correct.
10 years back.
Yes.
Whether it was like the groomer for my dogs, Shweta. She's founded Yes Says Doggy in Seawoods.
Okay.
So her story is similar. When
Okay.
she started, when she told her parents that I want to bathe dogs, they were like, "Kutta kaun nilata hai?"
Exactly,
like,
right?
For a profession.
Yeah.
So I think that's the same story for anything.
Correct. And it is super niche. And look at it today now.
Yeah.
It's like I'm proud of every person who has thought of this 10 years ago and started, and it's running successfully till date.
Yeah, and I saw the cakes you launched yesterday. They look prettier than human cakes.
Oh yeah,
they look beautiful.
There's so much of motivation for me or in me to do things for them. For humans, no, I don't bake for them.
So, what were the first few months like? Was it exactly like how you imagined, or you just went with the flow? What were the challenges you faced?
Honestly, like I said, I was in middle of job, so it was not a proper planned decision. So I was going with the flow, and organically things started happening because at that time we did not have any treats, any chew sticks or anything available in the market except for rawhide. So like when I started baking for Pacho, his friends, and then friends, slowly people started requesting me, can you just bake for my dog also? Can you do this? So getting to know their allergies or their meat preference. Are they vegetarians? Not. So I just started curating things, and then that's when I was like, let's just give it a try. So I do it formally, like properly legally. That's when I got my paperwork in place, got the name trademarked, everything, and that's how the journey began.
Okay. And what's the hardest part of running a bakery, and that too for dogs?
Interesting. The tough part is not exactly running the business, it's the emotional responsibility that comes along with it. Like, for me, getting to connect with that dog, making sure that, he doesn't fall sick, the food that I'm baking is, easily digestible for him, and also connecting with the pet parents. It's just a different type of relationship that you form over the years.
Mm.
There are some clients who have ordered from me every year, year after year, for their birthdays, for their kids' birthdays now. So that emotional connection is what is very, unique, and what is the word? I can't get the word. I mean,
We can get you.
yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
precious. Thanks. So that's the most precious and the hardest part to maintain it as well.
So tell us a story about your customer, a dog,
Mhm.
which has really stayed with you, and it made you feel ki, I'm very proud of what I'm doing.
But one of them that stayed with me didn't really make me proud, but it kind of broke me and healed me also. So there was this dog, a beagle, who was on the last stage of cancer, and her mom, she got in touch with me and she said, like, listen, the doctors have told us that we will have to put her to sleep because she's in a lot of physical pain. But before that, I want you to bake a cake for her. So that really shattered me. I said, listen, I don't know why you're doing this to me. I mean, and she was crying, I was crying. Then I baked the cake. She sent me the pictures after a few months because she was off social media, she was healing herself. But that really stayed with me, like, that her last goodbye was a cake from my kitchen. So
Yeah.
this is the kind of emotional bond that really stays with me.
So I'm a pet parent. I
Mhm.
have a lab who is Whiskey. He's
Mhm.
10 years old, and I have a Lhasa who she's 7 years old. The first time I got a cake for Whiskey was from Puplords. I think some
Okay.
5 years back,
Oh
I
wow.
discovered pretty cakes on Instagram. So like, this really looks pretty. I need to get one for Whiskey. So I don't know whether the dog really understands it or not. But for us, it was a big moment because that
Mhm.
cake looked perfect.
Oh, thank
And
you.
it just didn't look, when I told people it has chicken in it, they were like, chicken ka cake bhi banta hai. So I was like, yes, and we can also eat it.
Correct, correct.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think one, the ingredients which go
Mhm.
into it, they're
Mhm.
so thought through.
Mhm.
And when you know it's safe for your dog.
Correct, absolutely.
So how has being around dogs every day through
Mhm.
your work
Mhm.
changed you as a person?
I've not really been around dogs because most of the work is in the kitchen. But yeah, I have been around dogs minus my work also. And even though my family might disagree, but I think I've become a lot more patient in life. And compassion has always been there because I've grown up with dogs. My family has always been animal lovers. My dad had a horse. So I have that compassion for animals from childhood. But yeah, with my own work and my own journey, I think I've become a lot more patient, a lot more softer in nature.
When you're very passionate about a subject
Right,
and we try to convert it into a business,
right.
sometimes we're not able to draw that line,
Mm-hmm.
because business needs a certain mindset, and
That's right.
and sometimes compassion takes over and we lose that track.
Right.
So how do you balance that?
Honestly, I don't balance it. Literally, I like, a client calls me and tells me, I have a dog, but I've just adopted an indie teenage girl, 12, 13 year old. She's like, can you give me some discount? It's an indie, and my mom is not, giving me money because my pocket money is over. I just send her the cake for free. Like, how do you expect someone like me to run a business financially successful? This is more like a compassionately successful business, not financially.
Okay. So when I
Mhm.
heard about this book, so the first that I thought in my head was, why is she giving her secrets away?
Mhm.
So what made you put your
Mhm.
recipes researched over so many years
Correct.
into a book for pet parents like us?
So now Pup Lords is primarily in Bombay, based out of Bombay.
Right.
All my clients are from Bombay, but there are people who have messaged me from all parts of the world,
Oh.
from all parts of India as well, where they're like, can you send your stuff here? Can you do this? I mean, they Google the recipes, and recipes on Google is not really accurate, right? So this thought came to my head: why don't I pen down recipes? Why don't I do something that book can travel everywhere? If not Puplot, my book can travel everywhere. And it's really, if every dog gets to get good stuff, I'm happy. I don't want to think about these are my recipes. I should save it for my work. I should not, let anyone know. It's for animals. You can just go and do it for your dogs. That will make me more happy than anything else.
I tried one popsicle for my dog, and it turned out really well.
Oh, I'm so glad.
So that's a really good thought.
Right. So it's summer. You better make all the ice creams for them.
Yes, I will. I'm horrible at baking. As in I can't even bake a small cupcake. But I'll try these. Okay. Definitely. So for someone who is sitting at home today and loves animals or themselves have animals and want to start something like this or want to get into a business like this across the country, like how you said Puplods cannot travel across. So what are your 2-3 tips for them that this is how you should begin?
First of all, you love animals, just start anyway. Just go ahead, put your heart into it. Just make sure the baseline of any business is honesty. When you do it with honesty and with no other vendetta in your mind, you will always achieve success. So just compassion, honesty, and put your hard work into it. Put your blood, sweat, everything into it, and just start. Don't wait for the right time. Just start. Right time is now. Just go ahead.
Yeah, and there's so many pet parents.
Correct. Especially after COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was that one moment when you realized Puplods is real?
I sometimes still don't realize it. I really don't. I seriously don't. I actually, I'm not a good achiever of success in the sense I don't accept it that, okay, my business is a successful business. People know about it. Like if I'm walking Pacho somewhere, hey, Gargi, and, we ordered cake from Puplods. And I'm like, oh yeah, hi, this, and then it strikes me, oh my God, am I famous? Like really? So yeah, that is something that I still doesn't sometimes sit with me well,
You've made birthdays more special now.
Yeah, I do, but again, it comes from a different thought process. It was never intended to be a business, so I'm still not very I'm still getting myself to accept that, okay, Puplods is a very successful business. My book is out, book is selling well. But yeah, it just feels like a vague dream right now. I still don't, the reality has not sunk in yet. I doubt it ever will. It's been 8 years now. So